Guys, let's talk about a referral call. A lot of salespeople do not make referral calls because they don't know how, and they don't get good results. They do the same thing that everyone else does. They call the customer, hey, do you know anybody that's looking for a vehicle? They tell them no. They hang up the call. They usually do it because their manager is asking them to make calls, so they're doing it to make that guy happy, and then go back outside and stand or go sit in the car. Guys, there is a way to make a referral call that works, and it works well. I've done it enough times that my batting average is 60-70% on these referral calls. So I'm going to go through this call with you right now to give you an example of how it works. And when I go through this, if you take an attempt to try this, don't try to modify it, because there's certain things in place that set up what comes next. So don't try and reinvent the wheel and figure out a way to shortcut it, because you're going to miss key ingredients to get you to the next step. Okay? So there's a series of things I'm going to go through in this call, and then I'm going to make the call with you. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to thank the customer once again for doing business with me. And this call is most effective 2 to 3 days after the purchase, because they've had time to show the vehicle off, and there's probably people that have even mentioned that they are looking for a new car themselves. Okay, and it also gives them time to perhaps not know how something works in the vehicle, and you can answer a simple question, and this builds a lot of value and trust in your customer. They all believe that we only want to sell them a car and never talk to them again. So when you call and thank them for their business and then offer your services, this goes a long way, and this goes against what they believed prior to this phone call. So the first thing I do is I'll call them and I'll thank them for their business again. And I'll let them know, hey, I appreciate you coming and doing business with me. You could have chose to buy a car anywhere, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. It was a pleasure to serve you. Okay? Now that you've owned the vehicle for a little while, is there anything I may have missed in the delivery that you're not familiar with or not sure how to use? Most of the time, they'll always say, no, Curtis, everything was perfect. Da, da, da. I'll say, how about your Bluetooth? Were you able to get your Bluetooth set up correctly? That's a common one that people have a difficult time with. So I'll always mention that. If they have any issues, I'll invite them back to the store. I'll let them know what my business hours are. Okay? So, hey, if you got any issues at all, Steve, you know I'm here Monday through Sunday. My only days off are Wednesday, Thursday. Otherwise, you can always find me here. You're always welcome to pop in unexpectedly. I'll be happy to stop what I'm doing and help you set your Bluetooth or whatever else you need. This goes a long way, okay? Now that I've offered my services, I'll go into my pitch, okay? Steve, while I got you on the phone, as you probably know, most of my customers come from repeat business and referrals from customers like yourself. With that in mind, do you know anyone who might be looking for a new or used car? This is just a setup. This is a setup. They're going to tell you the same thing every single time. They're going to say, no, Curtis, I can't think of anyone right now, but if I do, I'm sure going to send them your way. They're going to say this 100% of the time. When that question comes fast and they haven't had time to process it and think about that, they're just going to be a jerk reaction to let you know, I can't think of anyone right now, okay? Now, you need to follow up. Not a problem, Steve. I know it's a tough question on the spot. Let me ask you an easier one. Out of everyone you know, friends, family, coworker, gym, church, you name it, out of everyone you know, who would you guess would buy a car next? I won't hold you to it, Steve. Just guess. Who would you guess is the next one that's going to buy a car? And now just wait. Now here comes the name or the person. They may say, my neighbor. If they say their neighbor, get the name. If they say a name, identify who that is. Oh, probably Mary. Okay. Who's married to you, Steve? That's my sister. Okay. Now I need to identify, why did he say married? Does he think there's some type of issue with her vehicle? Is there some type of issue? Or does she just want a new vehicle? I need to identify what the problem is so I can offer a solution. If I don't identify the problem and offer a solution that he believes is going to help Mary, He's not going to give me the number. I can't just ask for this number. They don't want me to just call and bug their friends and family. So I got to identify what he believes the problem is and offer a solution that makes sense. Sometimes it's just, she just has been talking about getting a new car and there's not an issue with the vehicle. Then I'll sell myself. Okay, I'll go through a couple scenarios with you. So let's say he says Mary's been having car problems. This is the easiest one. Okay, well, she's been having a lot of issues with her car. I had to come jump her last week so she could get to work. Her car's been giving her quite a bit of issues, so she's been talking about getting a new car. Okay, Steve. Let me ask you this. Do you think if I were to reach out to Mary and I offered her some solutions on getting an affordable, reliable vehicle that doesn't require jumping, doesn't have any issues, you don't have to carry a toolbox with her to work, or at the very least, I could set her up with my service department, have her car checked out and figure out what's going on with it, and I'll make sure they do it on my employee pricing. Do you think Mary would mind that call? Being that I offer nothing but benefits to Mary, they will usually say, no, I don't think so. And then I'll say, perfect. What's the best way I can get in touch with Mary? I never ask for the phone number. Phone numbers are trigger words that scare people. If I say, what's Mary's phone number? I'm going to get an answer like, well, let me reach out to her and I'll have her get in touch with you. Okay? How can I reach out to Mary? What's the best way to reach Mary? That's how I approach that. Okay? You got to remember, there's certain words that are trigger words. They scare people off. Perfect. What do you think is the best way I can get in touch with Mary? And now I just wait. I'll get the fucking phone number. Now when I call Mary, I go into the referral call. Hey, I just helped Steve a couple days ago buy a new car. I'm sure you've seen it. You let me know that you're having some issues with your vehicle. What I'd like to do is take a look at your vehicle, see if I can determine what's wrong with it for you, or even do an appraisal and see what I can offer you on that as a trade-in on something more reliable. How's that sound? I'll set the appointment. Okay? Now let's say he says, well, she saw my car and she likes it. She's been thinking about getting a new car and she was going to go out and look this weekend. But I'll let her know that you wanted to talk to her. I'll give her your number. Okay, now I'm going to sell myself. I'll say, Steve, let me ask you this. Mary's your sister, and I'm assuming you guys are close. Am I right? Yes. Would you really want Mary to go out there and just deal with any salesman that will probably take advantage of Mary if given the opportunity? Would you want her to get taken advantage of? No, I wouldn't want that. Of course you wouldn't. That's why I'm your guy, Steve. I'm going to take care of Mary the same way I take care of you. I'm going to help you out with your next vehicle. And anyone else that you know looking for a vehicle, I'm your guy. I'm going to take care of you in the long haul. Let's not leave it up to chance and let her go out there and possibly get taken advantage of by somebody else. Let me show her the professional courtesy that I showed you. Let me take care of Mary for you. What's the best way I can get in touch with her? And I'm going to pour it on. I'm going to sell myself. I'm going to pour it on. Do you want her to go out there and get fucked by some car salesperson? No. Let me help her out. Okay? But to take you back to the call, there's a series of events that will get you this phone number. First thing, thank them again for their business. They could have done business anywhere they wanted to. You chose to do business with me, and I appreciate that. Okay, now I'm going to offer my service. Now that you've owned the vehicle for a little while, is there anything I might be able to go over with you again? Anything I missed in the delivery? Is there anything that you're not sure of? 99% of the time, they say no. It's just a gesture. Okay? Now I go into, as you probably know, most of my business comes from repeat business and referrals. Now I just lob out, do you have a referral? I'm waiting for the no. With that in mind, do you know anybody who might be looking for a newer used car? Not right now, Curtis. This is just a setup to let them process the next question. Now I go into the, if you had to guess. I know that's a tough question on the spot. Let me ask you an easier one. If you had to guess, friends, family, co-workers, gym memberships, you name it, out of everyone you know, who would you guess would be the next one to buy a car? When they give me that name or that person, identify who that is. and then find the problem. Why would you say so-and-so? Why would you say Mary? He's going to tell you why he thinks Mary would be the next one to buy a car. When he does, I need to offer a solution that is so good that he believes it would be a benefit for me to call Mary. But I don't use the word phone or call. How can I reach out to her? Okay, that doesn't scare people off. So when I identify the problem, I offer a solution. I usually do a hypothetical scenario. I'll say, do you think Mary would mind if I reached out to her and offered her this? You'll say, no, I don't think so. Perfect. What's the best way to reach out or get in touch with Mary? And then I get my number. Try it, see if it works. This has worked for me hundreds of times. Anything I ever offer you guys, this is not stuff I read in a book or I think will work. These are things that I have done hundreds and hundreds of times, and I still do today. Even though I don't sell cars today, I manage dealerships. I still make these referral calls with my sales reps, and I pretend like I'm them so they can hear it actually work. And then it gives them the confidence to try it on their own. So I make this call a couple times a week just to prove a point as it is now. It still works just as good today as it did 10 years ago. Try it. Tell me what you think.